if I'm, breathing like a very out of shape person, that's why. So, so these are the goals of our peer mentoring program at Knott Central. So number one is to facilitate and foster inclusion in the school and community. That's definitely the most important thing to me as a special ed teacher, especially kiddos with low incidence disabilities, is that we can facilitate and foster inclusion. And a lot of times, you all know this, you'll find a lot of gen ed students in our schools, it's not necessarily that they don't want to be friends with our students or participate in activities with our students. It's maybe they've never been exposed to students with severe disabilities, right? So maybe they're just nervous and they're intimidated. So it helps gen ed students and our students. So our peer tutors teach self-advocacy skills, promote independence, educate the school and community on inclusion and individuals with disabilities, teach social emotional skills, and build lifelong friendships, and increase participation among students with disabilities in extracurricular activities. So that is one thing that I think we do really, really well at our school is we can make something happen. If one of my kiddos wants to be a part of an extracurricular activity, a sport or whatever, I have had a student that's been on the track team, and so on. So we do a really good job at that. That's just some pictures. So we went to the pumpkin patch. That's my peer tutor Kennedy in the pumpkin sweatshirt. They go on trips with us. They participate in all the KVIC workshops that we do at school, which Chad and Adrian and Will. I have policies and procedures for the program, so students must apply to the program. I have a application. They will fill that out, and if you want me to share the application with you, I can if you want to see what questions are on it. So it just kind of gives me an idea of what experience have they had with students with severe disabilities. Do they feel confident? Are they nervous? And then there's a space for teachers or other school staff to give recommendations. They have to have 30 recommendations from school staff. Let's see. Grades, behavior, and other circumstances are taken into account. If it's a student I know well already, I won't do an interview because some of them I know. Some of them have been excited to be in the program from the time they're in 9th grade. Our district policy is they only allow juniors and seniors. So some of these kids, by the time they're juniors, I already know them because they've been interested in the program. But if it's a student I don't know at all, I will kind of do a little interview process and get to know them. Then once they're approved to be a peer tutor, we do have confidentiality training that I do with them, and expectations that I go over with them about, what my expectations are, not just in the classroom working with my students, but I have expectations of my peer tutors in everything they do. That means in their gen ed classes, in their sports, whatever, I expect them to always be setting a good example. Because my LI students look to those peer tutors as the be-all, end-all, right? So if they're out here doing something not great, that's not a great choice, that's not what we want, right? So I have high expectations of them wherever they are. So benefits for students with disabilities, opportunities to learn communication skills from their non-disabled peers. So increase in communication skills for some of my students that have very little verbal language. Oftentimes they will much rather hang out, talk to, participate, attempt something with a peer versus me or one of my assistants. Like, we're old and not cool anymore, right? But if it's a peer, they're more likely to engage in that. So I've just seen a big increase in communication skills for some of my kiddos that don't have a lot of verbal language, but also those interpersonal communication skills and social skills, how to be a good friend, what's appropriate, what's not. Build confidence, academic support, opportunities to make more friends outside the resource room, confidence to participate in extracurricular activities, and peer support for exploring post-secondary education and employment opportunities. So they also participate in all of the transition activities and instruction that I do with our transition project that we work on. They go with us to conferences, they go with us to Carl D. Perkins, you know, they participate in all those things. And especially my seniors, as my senior peer tutors, as they're planning for, you know, their life post-secondary, my seniors or my kiddos that maybe are 21 and about to age out of my program, you know, it's really nice for them to go through that experience together with our gen ed seniors because that's something they have in common, right? And then teaching them to be lifelong friends and advocates. So I always tell people that I don't, you know, if nobody remembers one thing about me, when my teaching career is over and I retire and I'm long gone, I just hope that I have created a place where generation upon generation of advocates is born. You know, I just want to know that when I'm long gone, because of peer tutoring, we've created advocates in our community. And I really see that happening, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But these are just some pictures of my kiddos. So the picture on the left, I have some kids that participate in vocational classes. That is our vocational business class that you see. The Hut, they make t-shirts and sell them and different things. So I have some students that go over there every day and work in there. The picture in the middle, the guy with the thumbs up, that's actually my senior and captain wrestler, because I also coach wrestling, Lincoln. And I get emotional when I look at this picture because Lincoln was a kid, you know, he's a senior, but we got him as a sophomore at KCC, and he was a kid that had never been around people that had disabilities. He was very standoffish, very nervous, wouldn't hardly walk in my classroom, okay? So fast forward from then to now, he is a peer tutor, and now he would rather be back there chilling with Taylor than doing anything else. And like if one of the kids isn't there that day, like if Taylor misses or something, he's sick, Lincoln is like, I'm sad, I'm bored, what am I going to do today? So I just love that it is an eye-opening opportunity for kids that otherwise, you know, would never have been open-minded to that. And then on the right, that's my little Caden baby. He's got a wrestling sweatshirt on because he's our official, unofficial wrestling manager. So benefits for non-disabled students, confidence building, learning self-worth. So sometimes I have peer tutors that actually may be getting services from Jada, Brittany, that maybe they have an SLD, you know, they're on an LBD caseload. Maybe they need something to give them some confidence to show that they have things to offer people and that they can be helpful and they have something to bring to the table and add to the discussion. So sometimes those are kids that we really kind of strategically place in peer tutoring. I've had peer tutors before. One student, I don't think, for the whole first year I ever heard her say one word. And then by the end of the second year, she was confident leading small groups and doing all kinds of things, so that's really great. They can discover new skills that they didn't know they had. They develop leadership skills. You know, we do give them a certain level of responsibility for certain things, which also, when you develop leadership skills, that helps with confidence. It improves their communication skills. They learn how to be more of a professional communicator. They discover new interests and post-secondary employment options. So I actually have now I have two previous peer tutors that have graduated. One is going to be an LI teacher. One is going to be a social studies teacher. And then I have a current senior right now, Kennedy, that you all saw. She decided after becoming a peer tutor that she wants to be an LI teacher. So that's really exciting when kids, you know, peer tutors find a passion and love for the things that we love, because we all know our kiddos, future kiddos, they're going to need great teachers too. They learn advocacy skills and greater understanding of compassion, equality, and service. I have some kiddos that have been peer tutors that maybe they had some behavioral challenges, I'm going to say. And, you know, you see the potential in those kids, and you're like, peer tutoring is going to straighten them up. It's going to teach them compassion. It's going to give them something positive to do. And I've seen that happen time and time again. So that's one of my favorite things too. So there's a picture of Kennedy and Peyton. We always have an end of the year cookout. We celebrate all the accomplishments of the year. Our peer tutors, they write, they don't have a final. They write a final speech at the end of the year, and that's their final. And they give the speech and they talk about how peer tutoring has changed them, what they've learned from it, their favorite memories. And if it all works out with the weather and stuff, we like to do those on the picnic day. And then this picture on the right here of Lincoln and Taylor, they're working on, Taylor's taking a survey and graphing the data he collected from the survey. So he was asking everybody in the room, I think maybe what their favorite Olympic sport was. And then in the middle, that's a future peer tutor, but that's they're working on some communication stuff, communicating. So benefits our culture, our school culture and climate. Inclusion is naturally more normalized and organic. So one thing I love about Knott County Central is I've never really experienced any issue of anyone like bullying my kiddos or being anything but kind to them and encouraging to them. I think the school culture and climate about inclusion is something we do really, really well at our school. And so peer tutoring, when you have peer tutors that have LI students and they go do things together, right, lunch, gen ed classes, whatever, it becomes normal to the rest of the school population, right? It just, that's a friend like any other friend. So it kind of just makes it a more organic thing. It teaches students that diversity is something to be celebrated and embraced, not feared. And it teaches gen ed students compassionate understanding and promotes positive interactions among the whole student body. Benefits our community. So it promotes inclusion throughout the community, not just in the school. We have students that are involved in all kinds of community things, sports, and especially with our transition project we've been working on the last couple of years. You know, a focus for me moving forward is to make sure that on those community-based instruction situations, that it kind of, I'm going to focus on it leading employers to be more willing to hire and support individuals with disabilities. So just like gen ed students in the school, if they've never been around somebody with disabilities, you know, they may not understand the things that they have to offer. And it promotes individuals with disabilities participation in recreational activities in the community.
You're at the 2-minute mark.
Okay. How peer tutoring program impacts post-secondary outcomes. Helps peer tutors discover new interests for college programs and employment goals. Supports confidence in students with disabilities to continue their education or work in the community. And peer tutors help students with disabilities see their values, talents, and skills that they have to offer employers.
I think your videos are at the bottom.
They are.
Yeah.
So there's just more pictures of them working in the shop. We also have, other than the shirt shop, we do a class enterprise coffee shop. There's some of our annual projects.
That's a bunch.
Y'all know all the stuff by now. I also have the Peer Tutor of the Year award every year. One senior receives the award. This student is somebody that has demonstrated highest integrity, excellent leadership skills, promotes inclusion, and goes above and beyond expectations. And I will tell you, on Senior Award Day, that right there, I have had students that won 10 other awards, and that's the only one they cared about, right? It means a lot to them. So that might be something you want to consider doing at your school. And we'll watch a couple videos. How do I play a specific video?
With a mouse.
Okay. I didn't know because of this funny.
Hi, my name is Kennedy Sinners. I'm a senior here at Knott County Central High School, and this is my second year being a part of the peer tutoring program.
Kennedy, what is one of your favorite things about being a peer tutor?
One of my favorite things is that I just am able to be a friend to our friends with disabilities and help them reach their goals and hit milestones that they've never hit before.
How do you think being part of the peer tutoring program has changed your life or shaped your worldview moving forward?
It has allowed me to gain a lot of patience, to learn how to be able to just help these kids, like even out in just everyday life, in public or wherever I may be. And it's just allowed me to really like be happy and see what all I can do.
So after being a peer tutor for 2 years, how has that changed your college plans or personal goals?
Well, I really have loved being able to watch Miss Sarah teach me and be a really good mentor for me, for our friends. And now I have decided that I would like to be a special education teacher. So it's really just gave me like a really good idea of what I would be doing and how to help our friends and how to be a good teacher.
And how do you think that the peer tutoring program enriches our school and our community?
Being a peer tutor really like makes you see kind of really what everybody is like out in the real world. We're able to foster inclusion and bring more students into the peer tutoring program to have friends for ourselves.
And when you come into the classroom, how does being in room 139 make you feel? How do you feel when you're in there?
I feel extremely special. They are so welcoming. Our friends are so loving, and it really just makes their day to see somebody come in and enjoy being with them every day.
Hello, my name is Blake Keene, and I'm a senior at Knott County Central High School, and this is my 3rd year of peer tutoring.
Blake, what's one of your favorite things about being a peer tutor?
One of my favorite things would be that we get to help our friends learn and spread kindness and joy to them.
And give me a way that you think the peer tutoring program makes our school better and our community better.
One way I think it helps our school and community is to show people that our friends are able and just as willing as any other human being on the earth.
Absolutely.
In our community.
Absolutely. Blake, how do you think that being a peer tutor has changed you personally? And, you know, how does being a peer tutor when you come in room 139, how does that make you feel?
Well, I always love coming to room 139. And one way it's changed me is I was never really around kids with disabilities before I came in. So it has really helped me realize and understand the love that they have and just all the kind and joy and all the good feelings they spread.
Usually
Hi, my name is Kennedy.
Blake
Sanders.
Keene.
Do you know Blake?
No, I'm just saying I love it for being, thank you.
I was gonna show Taylor and then
Okay.
I'll quit.
Sounds good.
Let me see if it's, okay, hold on, let me show Taylor. Blake is, that's a kid that this has changed his life, for sure.
Hi, my name's-
What is my boy? Maybe this is it.
Taylor, do you love
It's the
your
star of the
friends
show,
Abby and
baby.
Kennedy?
Yeah,
You love him?
yeah,
Yeah. Look, where's Kennedy? Show me the picture of her.
Blake,
That's Blake. You love Blake too?
Kate,
Okay, and where's Kennedy?
Kennedy,
There's Kennedy. What about Lincoln?
Kelly,
There's Kelly. Where's Lincoln?
Dale,
He's like, let me touch
Where's
you a
Lincoln?
little bit, you're asking me.
Where's a picture of Lincoln?
Kennedy,
Look, Lincoln.
Lincoln,
That story of my life right there.
What do you all do in PE together?
yeah,
What do y'all do in PE?
yeah,
Yeah.
Do you play basketball?
yeah,
Basketball.
Do you practice your exercises?
yeah.
Yeah. Do you
Listen,
and
there's
Abby
not a
like to
jawbone
dance
in his
together?
body, I don't know why he's doing that.
Yeah. How do you dance with Abby? How you dance?
Okay, yeah,
How you dance with Abby?
yeah,
Are you excited because they're gonna go with us to Special Olympics?
okay, yeah,
Are you going to win first place?
yeah.
Yeah. Are you glad that our friends Abby and Kennedy and Blake and Lincoln, are you glad we have them as friends?
Yeah,
Yeah. Are you glad they're here?
yeah,
Yeah.
They make you happy?
Yeah.
Do they help you do your work?
Oh,
They do.
yeah.
You don't like them.
They don't do it.
Tell Abby and Kenny and Blake and Lincoln, say, love you.
Oh,
Say, look, say, love you.
oh.
Oh.